In the heart of a vast green valley stood Obodo Efu, a village unlike any other. The people lived together as one, 200 souls bound under a single massive roof that stretched like a long hostel. No man or woman owned the house alone. It was forbidden. To live apart was to rebel against the spirit of unity that had governed them for generations. In Obodo Efu, everyone shared everything: meals, laughter, sorrows, and even death. When one soul departed, it was never mourned in silence or buried in the cold earth. Instead, it was celebrated. The elders would say, "The flesh returns to those who loved it." To them, consuming the body of the dead was the ultimate proof of love. The clan would gather the corpse, roast and season it, and divide it among families. Children grew up believing that to eat of the dead was to keep their spirit alive within the living. On the seventh day, when the bones were gathered, they would pound them in mortars and use them to prepare a sacred soup, ofendu, the soup of life. To refuse to eat from it was an insult to the dead and a curse to oneself. Thus, no one ever refused. Seasons passed, and the people continued in their tradition. But one moonlit night, after the feast of El Dakboro, strange things began to happen. Children complained of burning skin. Women trembled with fever. Men grew weak, their eyes yellow like dying fires. The village healer could not explain it. His herbs failed, his chants lost their power. Within weeks, half the clan fell ill. Soon, the sickness spread to the neighboring compound, where another 200 lived. The people called it Ojo Undu, the curse of the living flesh. Yet the elders dismissed it. "It is the spirit testing our faith," they said. "We must eat more, not less." But the more they ate, the weaker they became. Bodies swelled, minds dimmed, and fear crept into the hearts of those who once mocked death. A wandering physician, passing through from a faraway city, saw their state and examined the dying. He told them what they could not understand: that their blood was drowning in protein, their bodies poisoned by excess. The cure, he said, was simple: stop eating flesh. The word struck the elders like lightning. Stop eating flesh? To them, it was unthinkable. It meant breaking their bond with the ancestors. The disease spread faster than gossip. Funerals multiplied. The people who had once eaten to honor the dead now watched the living die before their eyes. The feasts grew smaller, then stopped altogether, not out of choice, but out of necessity. There were too few left to eat, and too many dead to honor. When the last elder died, the remaining youth gathered under the great roof for the final time. They buried him. Buried, not devoured. For the first time in generations, the soil of Obodo Efu received a body. They stood in silence, their stomachs empty but their hearts strangely full. It was as if the air itself sighed in relief. From that day, they built smaller houses. Families began to live apart, discovering that love did not need to be proven through flesh or bone. And the ancient mortars, once used to pound bones for soup, were left to gather dust, mute witnesses to a custom that had finally consumed itself.